Hi, I am Suzanne Kucharczyk. I'm the principal investigator of the Leaders for Transition Leadership Development Grant. On behalf of my faculty partners at the University of Arkansas and the University of Oklahoma, I am presenting to you the thoughts shared by 10 of our scholars as they finish their second year in the program. We asked them to share their perspectives on the collaborative aspects of the cross-university program, as well as challenges related to COVID that have informed their experiences and their thinking about their future work. We also asked them to share with us the ways in which their Leaders for Transition experiences have fostered their understanding of the needs of diverse communities and individuals and equity considerations related to transition. Here are a few snippets of their rich experiences and reflections.
Then it's much easier in this program. And y'all both said that so well, because I joined this program a year later than it started. I know that my previous experience was much more isolating experience of going through and getting this degree. And that coming in and becoming a part of this cohort has made me first appreciate how welcoming everybody has been, but also now having those other students and professors to get feedback on my work and to learn from their work. That's been something that I have been challenged to develop, is the ability to reflect on my own learning and then to ask and seek feedback from our peers, which can be a very intimidating thing, but it's much easier to do when you have a cohort of trusted kind of partners in this program, so that when you get out and you seek feedback in the future from people you don't know, when you submit things and people give you feedback, you're kind of much more prepared to do that because of the experience of having this trusted group that we can turn to help us be better in our learning and our practice.
Many ways that this Leaders for Transition experience has increased my understanding of the needs of diverse communities and equity considerations related to transitions. I now have a better understanding of the supports that historically marginalized families draw upon and the supports that could be effective for improving family engagement with schools. And I'm also researching ways that educators can empower families to become more effective advocates for.
So what COVID really did show a lot of practitioners is how flexible they can be and how we can utilize technology to bridge that gap whenever we can't be together or when we're can't be in the same space. Well, it also revealed just how much some of our students with differences can really benefit as well. Some of them really thrive in this environment if we have the right tools and if we really expand and think outside the box on what our students need. So that can further inform our research then. Now that we know it can happen,
Even the most prepared and well-developed process can break down when tested in different environments. So as we start thinking about research and we start thinking about moving forward, one of the things that I think we need to be looking at is how to spend more time as future researchers, understanding how our processes may react and look like in different environments and with diverse subgroups. So we are kind of getting better at doing some implementation research and really looking at how different teaching and different practices work in a given environment, but we're not always good just because of time and the things that really hold us back at extending those studies long enough so that we see, how's that process going to look across this environment or with this population or in this setting. We are
speak for days on this because this is my heart. This is actually my area of focus. with marginalized students. But with my dissertation, I'm hoping to go with Indigenous Muskogee families. So this is one I can talk about, like I said, for hours, but I could relate, and the reason why is I can personally relate to some of the students that I have taught, not only because of the color of my skin, but because I struggled in school with ADHD, adult ADHD now, that affected the way I learned academically. I don't recall having a teacher ask me what I wanted to do after high school. And I really, really sat and thought about it, and no, I don't recall that. Or, asking me if I wanted to go to college. However, that was a different time and era. And I do believe we are finally making steps to cultivate and support our culturally and linguistic diverse students and families. We still have a long ways to go, and I want to be part of that change to help our marginalized student and families to create that space, so they can use their strong voices to make sure they are receiving an equitable, equality education. So yes, the Leaders for Transition experience has supported and given me tools and opportunities that I may not have got in any other capacity. And with that being said, I think for students with disabilities, if they do choose to go on to post-secondary vocational opportunities, whatever it may be, that we continue to also give them the support after college. That is very, very important. So yes, and I just want to say, Mado, which is thank you for this opportunity that it has given me to continue my education. And
I will say that the manuscript that I referenced to earlier with Crystal was for financial math resources for students with extensive support needs. And it is a very diverse community, a community that I feel like fights for equity in education daily. And I didn't have really any experience with students with extensive support needs through my special education tenure as a teacher. And so it really gave me a chance to read, to research, to really lean on Crystal and Dr. K to help fill in those gaps for me. And it was really eye-opening, also through different presentations that I've heard other scholars and my peers bring to the table, and just seeing so much work that's been done in this field of special education, and honestly, so much that we still have to fight for and to work towards. And it gives me real hope. I feel like sometimes you enter a space and you're like, man, what could I possibly bring to this space that hasn't already been done? You look at all the vast things that have been completed, and there's still so much work and so much space for us as doc students to really pave our way and to carve out, our place in that history and be able to move the needle with diverse communities and to make things more equitable across the field of special education.
Thank you to our scholars for sharing their personal experiences. Their names are listed here in the green box. We appreciate all of your work that you are doing and into the future. If anyone has any questions specific to this program, feel free to contact myself, Dr. Williams Diehm, or Dr. Deardorff at the University of Oklahoma.